day to be a Tiger. You know, at 8 a.m. this morning, Beth Tarina and her Lady Tigers faced number 8 Oklahoma State. And in walk-off fashion, a little bit of controversy there with the weather, but Beth Tarina gets her 500th win at LSU, and they walk it off to upset number 11 LSU upsets number 8 Oklahoma State. Then today, obviously, which we'll talk a lot about here too, and break down, which we do a lot of these post-game shows for LSU men's baseball. They beat Central Arkansas 2-0. Bats weren't really hot. Weather was really bad. Wind blowing in. Bear Jones gets a home run late. Looked good on the mound. Luke Holman, good gracious, great balls of fire. And then finally, the Fighting McMahon's in this hole. Let's go. As LSU upsets number 11 South Carolina on the road. Let's go. A lot of bad breaks that Matt McMahon and his team have had this year, only to come back when it mattered most. A 16-point deficit. Guys, LSU was in a 16-point deficit in the second half. And like they do every single game, they come back in alarming fashion in the second half and pull and get it close. Wow, what a game that was. What a game that was. Jordan Wright, Tyrell Ward, massive from 3 today. 3 from 4 from behind the arc. Hits the big 3 late to tie it. Then Jordan Wright completely taking over the game with a minute left, and you beat the South Carolina Gamecocks, the number 11 South Carolina Gamecocks, 64-63. Let's go. Let's go. Massive win. That jump ball scenario late, when you had 4 fouls to give and South Carolina is inbounding, and you trapped BJ Mack at the line, and you get the jump ball to get the ball back, then Jordan Wright gets fouled 2 clutch free throws from the line. Boom! Hell yes! Hell yes! Jordan Wright did not have a great game from the field either. He was 4 of 11. Kept pushing the tempo. God bless it. What a day to be a Tiger. What a day to be a Tiger. J.J. Pierce says today warrants a Bourbon Blake appearance. I don't need it probably does. Hey, woman, make me a bourbon. Just joking. Just joking. Just joking. I don't want to get killed. I don't want to get killed. So we'll talk and recap the baseball game. We'll recap a little bit of the basketball game here too. What a day to be a Tiger. Maybe at the end we'll recap some softball. Is I was still getting the crusties out of my eye, you know, like the sinus little things you get in your eyes, the sleep things. Gary Donovan says, I'm very excited with this pitching bullpen. They are coming out smoking. I agree. We'll touch on that. Matthew Daigle says, I think Matt McMahon just bought himself another year in BR. Matt, he wasn't going anywhere to start off with. Look, I will continue to say this as I will scream it from the rooftops. Guys, you got to take this and consider this as year one for Matt McMahon, right? Like you cannot consider this a year 2 type of scenario, even though it is. Last year, you got to take that as just, look, get your bearings under you, play as hard as you can, get recruiting under you, and go from there. Hit the portal. You know, you didn't have Jalen Cook today, which Jalen Cook had the bad turnover against Florida. I mean, and look, it's so crazy because this team for Matt McMahon, you can tell how, look, they play hard for him. I think they're a very well-coached team, okay? The way that they come out and do and play in the second half, Matt McMahon makes exceptional adjustments at halftime for you to come storming back in the last 3 games. You have a very bad loss again. I shouldn't say a very bad loss. You have a loss against Florida where, guys, you have a shot to tie it from 6 foot away from the basket, wide open. And so you miss that only to go back on the road in South Carolina and pull one out against a top 10 team. I know they're number 11, but, you know, a top 11 team. So what a day for Matt McMahon. But he was not going to get fired, and I think that they'll continue to get better. They'll continue with this system and get rolling. Can they have another upset? You got Kentucky coming up. I think the game's on Wednesday at 8, if I'm not mistaken. Can you upset Kentucky? Can you be in a scenario where you can do it? You have seen this team, and Florida is red hot right now, by the way. Can you be in a situation where, look, you lose a heartbreaker to Florida, you beat South Carolina on the road? Can you beat Kentucky? It's what we talked about when this stretch started 2 weeks ago. Guys, we talked about on 2 Thursdays ago that if you could just split and go 2-2 in this, maybe even 2-3 in this span, you could come out not looking as bad. You could, in a scenario, get yourself into being 500 in the league. And that's all you can ask for from Matt McMahon in this year. All you can ask for. They are right on par for where I thought that they would be in the beginning of the year. But I got to tell you, man, I am extremely happy for Matt. I think he's a really, really, really good X's and O's coach. I think he's a passionate coach. I think the guys love him. The adjustments that he constantly makes at halftime, like the deficit is never too big for him. They're just going to keep chopping wood, man. Keep chopping wood. They're going to cut the lead down. Couldn't rebound worth a damn. I mean, South Carolina absolutely destroyed you in the rebound game in the second half, but they're late. LSU got multiple offensive rebounds. We counted them, guys. Can y'all tell me in my ear how many offensive rebounds do they have? Remember when we talked about it at the 4-minute mark? Okay, so they had 12 offensive rebounds, 6 of them coming with 4 minutes left. That's insane. 6 offensive rebounds with 4 minutes left to go in the second half. You got to love it, man. You got to love it. Okay, let's get rolling here. Todd Davis says signature win. Hell yeah, it's a signature win for Matt McMahon. Hell yeah. I mean, you probably thought last year's Arkansas game was not necessarily, but you go on the road and you do this. And guys, look, you have 3 more wins in conference than you did last year. Matt says, how many years do you think LSU gives him? Well, it depends. He's going to go through this year. He's going to go through all through next year. And I mean, he's got a 7-year deal. So I would not be surprised if he gets 1 more. Okay. And I think they'll be better. I think they're going to be better next year. And a lot of these seniors and guys aren't going to be here, but he's going to recruit at a better level. I think that Matt now can go to some boosters and say, hey, I need money. I need to go get some guys in the portal. And they will do that. Justin says, what a weekend for LSU sports. Gymnastics win. Softball 2 wins. Yeah, back-to-back walk-offs for Beth Tarina as they remain undefeated. 2 wins for baseball. Basketball wins. Excellent job, guys and gals. Absolutely, Justin. Absolutely. Dane Bergeron says, hey, Blake, I have been out there yesterday and today at the box. Rain yesterday and cold today. Go Tigers. Yeah, it was cold today. That wind, man. That wind, was something. Look, very quickly before we talk a little bit of baseball, those 6 offensive rebounds. So we counted it. LSU was getting out rebound by 4 with 4 minutes left. Those 6 crucial offensive rebounds in the second half, or with 4 minutes left, put you over the mark. LSU out rebounded South Carolina late. They had 38 to South Carolina's 33, but that was not even remotely close to what we saw happening. I thought that Trey Hannibal had 12 massive rebounds today, which from the smallest guy on the court to get those 12 massive rebounds is a big deal, is a very, very big deal. Okay, let me do this. We got lots to talk about. Let's talk about some LSU baseball. We'll recap more of LSU basketball, LSU softball, but I do got to get to a very quick break. Let me talk about our good friends over at BetOnline very quickly, 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. We're back next. Let me pay a quick bill around this thing. Stay with us. We got lots to talk about. We do talk about LSU baseball to start off. We do that next. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events, with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. We're back. All right, let's get rolling very quickly. Before we start breaking down both of these games, well, all 3 of these games, LSU baseball, basketball, and women's softball, let me start off by saying this, because I got in a little altercation with a media guy today. Saying something negative about Lynn Rollins will not be tolerated around me. All I'm going to say here is David Foss, it's all over Twitter, okay? He blocked me, he's blocked LSU fans, which why you block the people you try to sell to is completely, just absolutely just ridiculously stupid. I am a massive Lynn Rollins fan, so if you say anything bad about Lynn Rollins and I see your tweet, I will stop and say something to you about it. I will say something to you about it. Lynn Rollins, arguably, to me, yes, I am 1,000% biased. I think that Lynn Rollins is arguably the best commentator for me. I love him. Pucker up, kiss this baby goodbye. He's mad because he said Kling Kong with a catch. Who gives a shit? Man up, brother. Asking the most, like David Foss a couple of weeks ago said he had breaking news about LSU baseball. It's an interview with Jay Johnson. Good on you. A lot of us have interviewed Jay Johnson. A lot of us. One-on-one. So, with all of that being said, congratulations. What he did was very juvenile and very dumb. All right. Let's get to it, and let's get started. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. If you're on Facebook, hit that like button. Hit the share button. Share to all those social media groups. Share to all of your social media pages. You're watching this on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Wherever you listen to the podcast, rate, review, and subscribe. LSU beats Central Arkansas today 2-0, which it was a pitching masterpiece by Luke Holman. Guys, we talked about this last night, and we'll continue to talk about this through the season. There will be times that Luke Holman gives up runs. He gives up home runs. He gives up hits. But he is, to me, and I don't think it's remotely close, I think he is your Friday night guy without question. What we talked about yesterday is going to come to fruition. His off-speed stuff, the slide piece, what he does in the placement with his fastball. Guys, he was electric today. Threw 5 1/3 innings, had 10 strikeouts, gave up a walk, got in a little bit of trouble. In the top of the fourth, he got in a little bit of trouble. He gave up a double that Pearson misplayed over Pearson's head. He gave up a single in the 6 hole, okay, that runners were on first and third. He gives up a stolen base, but he responds by striking the next 3 guys out. He gets out of the inning. That is what big-time SEC aces look like. He's not going to Paul Skeens you. He's not going to throw 101, 102. That's not him. But the placement of his fastball, the things and what he can do inside the strike zone with all 4 of his pitches is absolutely deadly. I thought his changeup today was absolutely sick. You're throwing a 92, 93-mile-an-hour fastball. His changeup was sitting around 83, okay, and had some filthy run on it. I don't know what Jay's going to do here, but Luke Hallman with 10 strikeouts through 5 1/3 innings is ridiculous. Arguably the best pitcher, by the way, too, in the country is Chase Burns. If I put the same line that Chase Burns today had versus Luke Hallman, you couldn't tell a difference. The only difference would be is that Luke Hallman had a third of an inning pitch more than Chase Burns, who might be the best pitcher in the country as of today. But Luke Hallman went through the lineup through the first time, 9 up, 9 down. It wasn't until he started to go through the lineup the second time where he got a little trouble, but he strikes out 3 guys to end the inning. He goes into the top of the 5th, 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom. And then he gets into the top of the 5th where Bear Jones makes a really good play at first. I thought his foot comes off the bag. Apparently, through review, it did not. He gets taken out, or he goes to the 5th. He gets taken out in the 6th. Griffin Herring comes in for him after Hallman gives up a single. So, look, man, I thought of everybody today, Luke Hallman is the story for me. The way that he looked, the command that he had, getting out and working out of a jam by striking out 3, he was electric today. Stephen Millam from New Mexico, the second baseman, also to me had a really good day. I would continue to keep him in the lineup. Look, he's a guy 5'7", 5'8", who has a really good eye at the plate. I thought took some really good swings, okay, at the plate today. He's going to get a lot of walks. He's going to get on base. Jay even tried to hit and run with him early in the game. Bingham having to swing at a really bad pitch out of the zone. I don't blame him for that. But I like Stephen Millam today. I thought that he had one of the better days. I thought, and again, we'll continue to think, the guy that leads your team in hits right now is Hayden Travinski. And something that you and I have discussed a lot about throughout the year is, look, we know what you're going to have with a lot of the guys that have experience. You know that you got power from Bear Jones. You know that you have power from Tommy White, who goes 2 for 5 today, looks really good, does leave the bases loaded twice, okay? You have arguably one of the best hitters in the country up twice, and you leave the bases loaded. That's not going to happen all year long, right? Like as the weather heats up, if there are scenarios where Tommy White has the bases loaded, he's not going to go 0 for 2. That's not historically who he is. I do think he's pressing, but Hayden Travinski right now, who had another big day at the plate, for me, is continuing to see the ball well. He caught today, was fantastic behind the plate, threw a guy out. I thought stole a strikeout, maybe 2 for Luke Hallman. Look, man, he's healthy. He feels confident. He looks good at the plate. For me, I just think Hayden Travinski, your leader right now, through 2 games, and it's 2 through 56. has looked the best. He's looked the most confident in both scenarios. Thought Braswell had a lot of good plays at short too. He's hit a lot of balls hard, man. He's hit a lot of balls hard. They've just been right at people. You know, he hit a ball today, I think was over 100 miles an hour off the bat in a deep center field, wind blowing in 15 miles an hour. I don't know if that ball doesn't get out in March and April. He hit a ball right back to the pitcher. Frozen rope right back up the middle. Guy puts his glove down in the right place at the right time, and he gets out. So I even thought Braswell, who doesn't have a hit, okay, he's hit a lot of balls hard. He's going to continue to find his way through the lineup and get some hits. I do like Bingham, moving up in the lineup, but he did not have a good day. And relatively, the Tigers at the plate did not have a good day. Again, guys, you're just going to have to work through this in the beginning of the year where a lot of these younger guys are going to come up and you're going to have to deal with maybe some plate appearances that are not necessarily the best. But you really can't be in a better scenario that you were today with bases loaded and Tommy Tanks is up twice. Guys, you're leaving 6 guys on base in 2 at-bats with Tanks. I thought Lynn Rollins said it best today. He goes, man, listen, I'm not, I know basically what he was trying to say is that he knew that Tommy Tanks had left bases loaded twice, but he went through 10 games last year before he hit his first home run. And he led the league and he led the country in RBIs. It's just not going to happen throughout the year. Talking about some of the guys that came out of the pen, I did think Griffin Herring looked okay. I think he, for what it's worth, Herring got a little touched up and then he had a walk. Sturgeon in the top of the 7th hit a ball really, really hard to Millam, which the range on that kid, the freshman from New Mexico, that kid's got serious range. I don't know if last year the ball that was hit to second doesn't get through with Gavin Dugas and you don't give up a single there, but he gets an out. I am going to butcher his last name. I've butchered his name twice already in shows before. But Fidel Uola, okay, I thought when he came into the top of the 7th, he struck out Allen, he struck out Bowman, he comes into the 8th, he gives up a walk, which, look, I thought it was a strikeout. It is what it is. But he gets a walk, he gives up a walk, he gets a fly out to Pearson, he gets a strikeout, gets up a single, and then Primo comes in. But Fidel's got some serious gas, man. They got dudes, okay, that are going to come out of the bin. They got serious arms, man. To be real with you, it feels like the team from last year has flipped in reference to what your biggest strengths are. Now, with a Jay Johnson team, I am not worried about them at the plate. I think that they'll get things rolling, let the weather heat up a little bit. You're going to have to get 20, 25 games in, maybe even 30, before you start saying to yourself, okay, maybe we do have a little bit of a problem here, but I don't think that they do. Dutton came in 1, 2, 3 in the top of the 9th. He closed it out. He looked good. I thought Primo looked good in the batter that he had. He got the ground out to Braswell, the little dribbler behind the mound. So I thought that they looked good. Bear Jones. So back-to-back games with a home run. Guys, you're going to have to live with some of the stuff that he does. And I know that a lot of you will talk about him defensively. Today, I thought he made some good plays at first today. I know that he, at times, will swing at pitches that he legitimately has no business, okay, swinging at. But I look at him, let's see. Like, so for today, Barry Jones has a line out to third base where the guy had to jump up and catch it. He hits a frozen road there. He comes up in the bottom of the fourth. He gets a hard ground ball to third. He gets out. He comes into the bottom of the sixth. He gets a fly out on the warning track to deep center field, and then he comes out in the bottom of the eighth and hits the home run to give you that 2-run lead. So, look, your home run leader as of right now, he's hit the ball really hard. A lot of those things, a lot of the pitches that he's going to see, a lot of the at-bats he's going to see, some of those balls are going to start getting down. When the weather is, I don't know, and I'm going to be honest, again, even the fly out that he had on the warning track to deep right center field, I don't know if the wind's not blowing in 15 miles an hour, blowing into the stadium, I don't know if he doesn't have 2 home runs on the year. Now, the one to right, maybe the wind did help him because it started to shift and it's blowing out really hard in the right field. The ball gets pushed into the stands there. Maybe you can just even that out. But I think at the plate, he has not looked bad at all. Thought he's looked really good. Really, really, really good. Man, every time I look at my sheet here, every star that I have from the at-bats comes from Hayden Travinski, dude. Every single one of them. Line drive single. Okay, he got hit by a pitch. He did have one strikeout that he argued walking back to the mound. But he has a live drive single in the bottom of the fifth. And then because he got a pitch run for, what happened there? I forget. Let me see. Oh, he had a walk. So he goes 1 for 3 on the day. Looked really good. Tommy White did go 2 for 5. He had the line drive single on the right. He did have the double. Guys, what happens when the bases are loaded and he gets both of those hits then? I mean, you're looking at a situation where you beat this team 7-0, 8-0. But I just think it's impressive how, guys, you have not even seen all of your arms, really. You know, like Aiden Moffitt, does Aiden Moffitt go tomorrow? Does Cam Johnson go tomorrow? You just got so many arms in that pen. You got so many arms that you can go to here. When do you see Gage jump again? Do you see him? Javen Coleman, when do you see him? So they got a lot of dudes that are going to come out of the pen. They got a lot of arms, and you're going to really stranglehold a lot of these teams. A lot of these teams you're going to put a stranglehold on. So thought Yola looked good. Thought Herring looked okay when he came in, and obviously the performance of the day clearly goes to Luke Holman. All right, let's get to a couple of your comments here. Media LSU, oh Lord, says we didn't need it today, but those late inning runs are going to be crucial down the stretch. 1,000%. 1,000%. Fully believe that. It's pronounced Milam. I mean, how else am I saying it? Eric, how else am I saying it? I said Milam. Stephen Milam. Brandon Reese says, I would rather win a close game against VMI and lose to St. John's like Florida did. I don't disagree with that. St. John's is not a bad team. David says Yola was lights out. I agree with that. The stash, the fingers stash. Anytime a dude has a mustache that curls up and around on the outside, I feel like you need to add 5 miles an hour to the fastball. Kick and play, man. Kick it, really throw it. Todd says LSU has 30 Ks through 2 games, Blake. They do. They do. Aaron says, I like the fact that the staff is just throwing strikes, no doubt. Because last year, man, dude, that was a big problem that you had. It wasn't necessarily, now you did sometimes, okay? You did sometimes. you just didn't have a lot of times the ability to throw strikes and get guys out. And you did today. You did today. Dwayne says the Paxton clean catch was badass. Yeah, and that was what led to the argument with David Foss. Paxton Clean, man. I mean, he had one yesterday where he ran one down. That catch that he had today is going to be on SportsCenter. I don't know how you don't put it in the top 5 of web gems. That catch was ridiculous. And look, Paxton Clean, struggling a little bit at the plate, but what he gives you defensively is next level. It's 100% next level. And you just hope that he can continue to work his way through some of the early season struggles at the plate and find his way, because defensively, he is one of the best that you're going to find. And that catch is utter ridiculous. It's utter ridiculous. But he's going to have to swing it a little bit better, and he's going to have to pick it up. But again, guys, you're in game 2. But that catch was – and even the spot that he caught it in. And, it's something with young guys too. I mean, how many times have we seen young guys in the past pull up on a ball like that? Because, look, man, we got a runner on second. Don't want to really don't want to dive and miss, and then the game is tied. But having the confidence that he does and then throwing the ball back in, leaving the runner at second, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's complete opposite of what we talked about in the beginning of the season last year. Guys, you came out of the gate last year absolutely destroying the baseball. Absolutely destroying the baseball. And you're wondering what you're going to do at the mound behind Paul Skeens. Today was actually, a year ago today, actually was the day that Paul Skeens made his premiere. A non-mustache having Paul Skeens. And everybody had the question, okay, we saw Paul. He had 10 strikeouts. He was absolutely electric. I think it was Western Michigan, maybe. We started the year with off last year. And you were like, what are you going to do? Now you're seeing, like, look, man, we got so many arms that can come out of the pen and suffocate you. It's just going to be, what can you do at the plate? But again, it's kind of a little bit of a catch-22, because yesterday you score 11 runs against VMI. And it's not like you didn't have really quality hits and really quality at-bats. But you go up against a team like Central Arkansas, and they brought in their lefty, Winham, okay? And, guys, I'm going to be honest. When they brought the lefty in the 5th, you did not look good. Okay, he gets a check swing from Brady Neal, strikeout. Travinsky gets a line drive, but he also strikes out Pearson to end it, and White had a fly out to center. Winham comes into the bottom of the 6th. He gets a fly out, a ground out, a walk to Milam, and then Kling flies out to second. He comes into the bottom of the 7th. White gets a line drive into right, but before that, he gets 2 outs from Bingham and Fry. Travinsky gets a walk, and then you get a line out to center field, which it's a diving catch by Central Arkansas. And look, Central Arkansas made a lot of really big-time defensive plays today too. Does every team that you play and that you face have the defensive plays and the plays in the field like that? I don't know if they do. They made a lot of big-time plays. Does Tommy White leave the bases loaded twice? I don't think that he does. But 30 strikeouts through 2 games is ridiculous. It's utter ridiculous. It's insane. I don't know, Aaron. I don't know. But I will tell you one thing. What I'm not going to allow to happen, and here's another thing. I don't like when people go to on Twitter. Like, Lynn does not have a Twitter account. Talking shit about Lynn on Twitter when you know he doesn't have a social media account, shut up, bro. And guys, for me, Lynn Rollins is like, put him in the Hall of Fame if he isn't already. Because when guys are gone, okay, and they're not doing this anymore, and you're stuck with some Rudy Poo who is not going to be any good, him and Ben McDonald, guys, are the best commentators that you're going to find. I mean, it's not remotely close. I love the little sayings from Lynn Rollins. You can't find him with a search warrant. I think that shit's clever. Guys, let me tell you something, okay? I don't know what episode this will be, all right? I think we're coming up close to 890 episodes, 900 episodes from a guy who's been in this chair for a minimum of 900 hours. Definitely more, but at a minimum of 900 hours. I beg any single one of you to pick up a microphone, turn on a camera, go live on your Facebook page, and then go back and listen to yourself and see how dumb you sound. Lynn Rollins is arguably the best that we will ever have. It is not easy to do this. So I have no sympathy for David Foss whatsoever. He goes in these post-game press conferences asking these stupidest questions. And then you're going to attack a guy on social media who doesn't have it. I'm not about that. Danny Girl, who is the biggest Hayden Travinski fan in the world. I'm joking with her. She says, my three top pitchers that we have seen in 2 days, Holman, Jump, and Fidel. Look, man, Luke Holman was absolutely ridiculous today. I agree with her order too, by the way. He was ridiculous. Rian, I'm assuming that's how you say it. Rian, however you say your name. He says Luke Holman being able to get out of a jam like that is going to be clutch in a big time or in big game. He has it. Yeah, man. I mean, he did that a lot during he did that a lot at Alabama. Guys, remember last year when Alabama had all that stuff going on? Okay. With their head coach and the gambling stuff, and Luke Holman was actually ironically the guy that he pulled to place that bet. Guys, Alabama made that serious run, okay, and made the run into the postseason. Luke Holman was a big part of that. Actually, you can make the argument was the part of that, because if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, I'm pretty sure down that stretch, Luke Holman started 6 other games after that and went 5-1 for Alabama. He has been a Friday night ace in this league. And guys, I don't know it. I don't think you can get to March and not let him start on Fridays. I legitimately don't. Right? Like, I think you got to make the move, because you're going to see big time frontline pitching, and everybody on a Friday is going to give you their best shot. You're the reigning, and I love Jay to death. It doesn't matter. Jay says we're not defending. In the way that he's saying it, Coach is right. You're not defending the national title. They're not taking any banners down. Nobody's going to forget that you won the national title last year. But in the minds of every single person that is going to play you this year, you are the reigning, defending national champions, and you're going to get everybody's best shot. When you hit SEC play, you 1,000% are going to get everybody's shot on a Friday night, especially when you go on the road. I would rather Luke Holman in that situation more than Thatcher Hurd. Just being honest. And I know that you got to run Thatcher Hurd out there. He won game 3 for you in the College World Series. In no way, shape, or form am I rolling Thatcher Hurd back out there on a Friday night. It's not happening. It's not happening. No way. There's no way. All right. Let's get to a couple more of these. Chris H says, Lynn is an absolute treasure. I'll go to war with anybody who talks trash about him. Go to Twitter, Chris. I got blocked. The dude blocked me, bro. The dude blocked me, dude. Like, what did I even do? Shit. How about this? Top exit velocities for – actually, I'm going to bring this up on the screen very quickly before we talk a little bit of basketball and get out of here because I got to go – I got to go cook. Look at these top exit velocities. Jared Jones is in here twice. Tommy White is in here 3 times. So, but look at Stephen Millam. Stephen Millam, 105.5 miles an hour off the bat. Did Millam get a hit? Let me go back and look. Because he walked in the third. Yeah, the RBI single. That's right. That was his first hit. Yeah, I forgot about that. The RBI single. Yeah. Broke the scoring drought. Yes, indeed. All right. What am I doing here? I forgot that we had y'all can see all of that. He might be L2, but he's a switch hitter too. I didn't know he was a switch hitter. Jason Brown says that's my favorite saying. You can pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye. It is the best, guys. I wait for it. Media LSU says, would I be crazy to think that Thatcher would work better for us out of the bullpen? I don't know if he worked better for us out of the pen. I think he's a guy that's got great electric stuff. I think he's more of a Saturday, Sunday guy. And I do think when you work Gage Jump into this rotation, because I think you're going to work Gage Jump into this rotation, I could see a scenario where you go home and jump Hurd. And if that is your guys through day 1 for day 3 in the weekend rotation, Hurd being the guy on day 3, I mean, it's just you're set up for a lot of success. How quickly can you get Jump there? And I think, look, I do think that Aiden Moffitt is also a guy that we're not talking about, that if he can throw strikes, his stuff is first top 5 stuff potential. The problem with a guy like Aiden Moffitt last year, he couldn't throw strikes. He just could not throw strikes to save his life. Goes into the summer, gets a little bit of rhythm under him, starts throwing some strikes, getting up to 98, 99 miles an hour. I think during the summer there was a game that I watched. He was through 5 innings. He hit 99, 98, 99, struck a guy on 3 pitches. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Aiden Moffitt too. Really looking forward to it. Okay. LSU upsets South Carolina today, 64-63. God, what a big time win, man. What a big time win. You know, it's funny because this team, by the way, if anybody wants to buy me a new chair, you're more than willing to do that. This team, man, against Alabama, against Florida, a lot of games this year, they have stormed back in the second half and have not been able to close and get wins. Today was not one of those days. You did feel like there was going to be a day where they come storming back in the second half, outscoring South Carolina in the second half by 8 points, 39 big-time points in the second half against a really good defensive team is a big deal. Look, one guy that I do think, and we'll talk about Jordan Wright in a minute, Jalen Reed, for me, the sophomore from Jackson, Mississippi, had a really big day. He was 6 of 9 from the field. He got 4 big-time rebounds, 2 big blocks, and 13 points. Tyrell Ward, too, had a massive, massive day. He hits that 3 late, but, man, a sophomore from Washington, D.C., comes out today, 6 of 8 from the field, 3 from 4 from behind the three-point line. He has 16 big points. And then down the stretch, your leader, Jordan Wright, hitting those 2 big free throws, then the and one to tie it, hits it there. Did not have a great day from the field. It was 4-11 from the field, but you had some young guys in Jalen Reed and Tyrell Ward, 2 sophomores, that stood up and helped you get this win over the number 11 South Carolina Gamecocks, who, guys, is 9-4 in conference this year. They're one of the better teams in conference. You know, look, even when you had a game against Tennessee, you kind of fought back against them, but they were a little bit more talented than you. You weren't able to hold on there. Same with Alabama. You go up against a team in Florida who is red hot right now and is going to be a problem for a lot of teams in the tournament. You're 6 foot away from tying the game up and getting that game into overtime with who knows what happens when you get to OT. Today was finally the day that you broke through, and I cannot be happier for Matt McMahon. I will tell you this. We do not talk a lot about Matt McMahon and the men's basketball team because of the frustrations that we've had. I'm going to divulge a little something, and I know he's going to get he might get a little upset with me, but it's okay. No, he won't. Matt McMahon is pouring in his blood, sweat, and tears into this program, and finally today it paid off. The team respects him, they love him, and even in a lot of the losses, the second half adjustments have been so good. LSU had 4 fouls to give, and what was it, guys, like 50 seconds left to go, 30 seconds left to go, I forget. Maybe even less. Maybe it was 15 seconds. But the jump ball scenario to trap BJ along the baseline, or along the foul line, to get the jump ball, to know, hey, look, we have the possession arrow. We have too many fouls we got to give here. Let's get in a jump ball scenario. They do that. They run their defensive play in the inbound perfectly. They get the jump ball. They get the ball back. And then Jordan Wright would penetrate, get to the cup, and would get fouled, gets 2 free throws there, sinks both of them, and you go on and hold on to win. I could not breathe, and my heart legitimately stopped, though, when South Carolina shot that 3 there at the end. But, man, this team, dude, they are – 5-7 in conference, and you look at their schedule. Now, I don't really think that there's any other team on your schedule. Like, let me give an example. You got Kentucky at home, at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. I 1,000% believe you can beat Kentucky. I just saw you beat South Carolina. You can beat Kentucky. Even if you don't, and you're 5-8, you can beat State, you can beat Georgia, you can beat Vandy. I do think that you beat Arkansas again, because they're so dysfunctional, and Missouri's the worst team in the SEC, arguably. So now that you're getting through the tougher stretch of your SEC schedule, guys, what happens if you pull off a win against Kentucky? Guys, I think that there's a legitimate chance that after that Kentucky game, you can go 4-1 down this stretch and be close to being 500 in the league. So you're 5-7 right now. Can you get to or above 500 in the SEC? I think you can do it. Now, on a random Tuesday night, do you? And by the way, just throwing this out there, the next 3 games for LSU men's basketball is at home. So you got Kentucky at home, you got State at home, you got Georgia at home. Then you go on the road to Vanderbilt. I don't know, Vanderbilt's not any good. You get above 500 in this conference. Hey, man, I like where this team is. And I'm going to ask you, Man, pack the PMAC out on Wednesday. Pack it out. Because you get that win, you're going to be above 500 in the conference. And then you start saying, hey, man, is LSU, if they win a couple games in the SEC tournament, could they find their way into the, are they a bubble team? Those are the discussions. Like, you're not out of this at all. I know a lot of talking heads are going to say, LSU's out of it. They got to try to get to NIT. BS. Let's go take this son of a. Let's go take it. Let's go take it. Sherry Berry says, I love the direction our men's basketball team is headed. I do too. And man, what happens, to Sherry Berry's point, the two guys that we're not going to talk about today that I think had the biggest impact for your team, Tyrell Ward is a sophomore, okay? The Washington, D.C. native, okay? And Jalen Reed from Jackson, Mississippi. Two sophomores. Those are pieces. And by the way, you still have Corey Chest. Jalen Cook technically could come back, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. You got some good young pieces, man. You got some good young pieces. Anthony B. Saint says, hashtag pack the PMAC Wednesday. Hell yeah, pack the PMAC, man. Pack the PMAC. Aaron Miller says, Columbia is still the armpit of South Carolina. The Tigers going to go in there in September and do the same thing. I hope so. Kat Clark says, how about Jordan Wright? How about it? Big time down the stretch. Big time down the stretch. Yes, indeed. All right. Oh, softball too. How about Beth Torina? Back-to-back walk-offs. Back-to-back walk-offs. So yesterday they played Northwestern in Clearwater, Florida. They beat number 22 Northwestern 13-12. And then today, number 6. I said they were number 8. That's my fault. Number 6, Oklahoma State. Now they have number 5, Washington. It looks like that game got rained out. That was supposed to be today. Have they rescheduled the Washington game? Golly, if they could have beaten number 22 Northwestern, number 6 Oklahoma State, and then number 5 Washington. This team's undefeated, man. Beth Torina's got an undefeated squad right now. How about Beth getting her 500th win? Now, I don't know if that game, somebody in the chat can correct me. Sherry Berry says, no, the Washington game just got canceled. Okay. So no reschedule. Might be for the best. Because, look, you got Minnesota. God, 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Jesus. So you got Minnesota tomorrow, Boise State, Houston, Austin P. Man. Schedule doesn't look bad for the Lady Tigers, man. Doesn't look bad at all for the Lady Tigers. As of right now, I'm looking through their schedule. They don't face another ranked opponent throughout the year. Arkansas is not ranked. Well, UL Lafayette. Well, no, it says that they're not ranked here. Maybe that's wrong. That's got to be wrong. Raging Cajun girls are got to be ranked, right? Shit. Barry says it's going to be raining tomorrow morning. God, dog. Oh, well. Damn. 8:30 in the morning? I don't know, man. I'm watching the UFC tonight. So I might get in there by the 5th inning. So, yeah. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Y'all are Hello. Hello. Baby Jules calling me. That's how you know it's time. What am I cooking? I'm about to go make some hamburgers on the griddle. Yep. Got us a griddle fired up. About to go make us the family some hamburgers. Got UFC 298 tonight. Looking forward to that. So we'll be on the tube. We'll see y'all then. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out, Girl Scouts.